Prime Minister, any hope in relationship going forward?
I absolutely do. Look, the fact that Mark Carney is working on repairing the relationship rather than following Justin Trudeau down the rabbit hole already shows that Prime Minister Carney is a much more serious person than the former Prime Minister of Canada. That itself should be enough. Now, India is humble enough and professional enough to allow Canada to have a blank slate and to demonstrate its good faith. But make no mistake, Canada now needs to demonstrate its good faith. India is not a football, which you kick around. India is an ally, which you strive to embrace.
Right. Now, with China's growing influence and the need for democratic partnerships, most countries in the West think so. How important? Now, this reconciliation comes as both countries, India and Canada, face pressure on AI governance, clean energy, and critical minerals. Are shared challenges forcing past grievances aside between the two countries?
Well, let's face it. The grievances with regard to Nijar and with regard to the Khalistan movement were not real. I mean, the grievances with regard to Nijar and with regard to the Khalistan movement were exaggerations that Justin Trudeau amplified. They were the proverbial tempest in the teapot. What we now see is a recognition in both New Delhi and Ottawa that they are not going to be tripped up with artificial, contrived grievances. Look, Justin Trudeau may have wanted so much to appease radical Sikh extremists in various constituencies that he was willing to take an organized crime hit between various Sikh groups and mafias and blame an outside power for it, rather than to acknowledge the problem and the fault was Canada and Canada's alone. That is Justin Trudeau's problem. But now that Justin Trudeau is gone and likely will never return to power, Prime Minister Carney is taking a sober approach and recognizing that he is not going to be tied to Justin Trudeau's fictions. He is going to instead embrace reality and calibrate Canada's relationship with India to reality rather than to a fevered Justin Trudeau.
Canadian relationship really look like in practical terms, say defense, trade, cooperation, multilateral initiatives. What do you see?
Well, look, the benefit is if the problem is defined as Justin Trudeau rather than Canada, then it is possible to go back to the status quo ante. The danger, however, is that the same dynamics that enabled Justin Trudeau's cynicism, that is his desire to appeal to radical Sikh extremists in various constituencies and allow the marginal Khalistan voices to claim that they were representing the entire Sikh community. So long as those dynamics continue to exist, it's possible that future cynical leaders are going to make the same mistake Justin Trudeau made. This is why it's so essential that India continue to press Canada to basically address the Khalistan movement head on, to designate the Khalistan movement and extremists as terrorists, to uproot terror finance, and to stigmatize forever these groups that really have no popular legitimacy back home in Punjab, or for that matter, among the larger peaceful Sikh community in Canada. It's time to stop allowing the loud extreme voices to win and instead recognize that those same loud extreme voices oftentimes deserve to be in prison for their involvement in terror tax fraud, and organized crime in Canada, in San Francisco, and elsewhere.